He's more than an athlete. He's an artist.
I think you're in love, Ron.
Shut up.
Victor, I love you. Victor, I do.
When we're apart, my heart beats only.
Harry Potter!
Hey, my eyes aren't glistening with the ghost of my past.
I'm not an owl.
Technically, it's a fact.
Ah, c'est magnifique.
Kill the stag.
About a Barty Crouch!
Behaving like a babbling, bumbling band of baboons.
Junior.
Hello, everybody. Really excited to share this episode with you. Myself and Scott from the Half-Blood Pod rank a whole bunch of different Harry Potter theories. It was a wonderful discussion. Can't wait for you to listen to it. But just a quick update about our Patreon. Our Patreon is patreon.com/retoldpodcast. There's a slight change in the subscription for that. So just wanted to let you guys know I was doing 2 bonus monthly episodes every single month. Well, since launching it, I've kind of realized just for now at where I am in life and all the other things I have going on, 2 bonus monthly episodes that are an hour long each was a little too much for me. So I have dialed it back to just 1 bonus monthly episode. And that will be the Hogwarts mystery retelling that I do with Jesse. So every single month, Jesse and I will be recapping the Hogwarts mystery plotline. We joke around, we laugh, we make fun of it, we enjoy it. So if you want to hear us talk about that, be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/retoldpodcast. But we won't always do a second bonus monthly episode, but it's kind of like 1.5 bonus episodes a month, because I'll throw up something on there every once in a while that I feel like doesn't belong on the main feed, or just an extra discussion I want to have that month that just couldn't fit into our normal schedule. So anyway, sorry that it's not 2 bonus episodes each month, but to compensate that, I have reduced the subscription price from $5 a month to $3 a month. So if you want to hear Jesse and I talk about the Hogwarts mystery plotline, check that out, as well as the other perks that I've mentioned before, things like voting rights and group chats and shout outs on the pod, all that fun stuff, and even more. But anyway, that's all I got. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, everybody, and thanks for listening to Retold, the podcast where I retell you my favorite story of all time, Harry Potter. Except not today. Today, we will be ranking in a tier list different Harry Potter theories. And I never do this journey alone. I'm always joined by very special guests. And with me this week, I have Scott from the Half-Blood Pod. Hi, Scott.
Barry, I'm very excited to now be considered, I believe, a recurring guest. This is appearance number 2. So I'm a recurring guest, and I'm excited about that. I've always wanted to achieve that status. This is my first time.
Is this the first podcast you've, outside of your own, you were on multiple times?
Yes, this is my first time being a recurring guest on something that's not the Half-Blood Pod.
Fantastic. Well, we love Half-Blood Pod over here. We make reference to it a lot. You guys are famous over here at Retold. We usually are in awe at William's trivia prowess.
Yes.
He was just on recently. Yeah. I think this will come out, this will be like the second episode that comes out after the Jeopardy episode. So we already had one where William came on for his second time. So we had to have you on for your second time as well. And there's a lot of people, I don't know how you're going to take this. To me, this is a positive thing, but there's a lot of people in the Harry Potter space that I talk to that are overly nice and overly kind and unafraid, and too afraid to say their real feelings about something, too afraid to show anger and disdain and disgust. I have never known you to be that sort of person, Scott.
I absolutely take that as a compliment, and I'm passionate about a couple of things. One of those happens to be Harry Potter. It's how I could, come as far as to, make a podcast about it. And when I am passionate, I go hard. And then if I don't care about it, let's talk about something I don't care about. Truly, you will hear nothing from me. I have no opinions. I will sit by and let people talk nonsense. Talk about Harry Potter, though. I'm going to make sure you understand how I feel.
You're going to hear some words. And listeners, if you don't already know, if you don't remember, Scott has created this wonderful game. I have it with me. We'd make mention of it on every Patreon episode because it's what Jesse and I use to quiz each other at the very beginning. But the much needed, book only, ultimate, unofficial Harry Potter trivia game. It's incredible. Check that game out, listeners. I hear it's available on Amazon now.
It is available on Amazon. I had to confirm with my wife. We got kicked off for about a week for who knows why. Amazon has been a pleasure to deal with, and I'll keep it at that. And we're back on. So check us out on Amazon.
Well, check that out, listeners. Links to that will be in the description of this video. It's an absolutely wonderful game. I was thinking, if we get through this tier list way too quickly, I might pull up one and question you on it, your own question, but I really doubt that we'll get through this too quickly.
Good call. I can make sure we don't. I know the last time we got on, I feel like, I don't know what the runtime, what we actually posted. I think it was just over 2, but I believe recording was closer to 3.
That is correct. There were, it hurt me to cut out certain things, but I did it. Maybe in the uncut, release the Scott cut.
Yeah, I like it.
But anyway, listeners, let's talk about what we're going to do today. On today's episode of Retold, we are in between books right now, in between seasons, as I like to call it. Very soon, we'll be starting our retelling of The Order of the Phoenix, which Scott will defend is not the worst book in the series.
No, Scott, spoiler. Or go ahead. Go.
What would you say is the worst book in the series? They're
so,
all great,
spoiler, I guess not a spoiler because my podcast, it's so funny to live in the podcast world and to think about when you're going to post things. So my video that I did ranking, William and I did an official book ranking, and it'll be out before this podcast. And we both landed that our least favorite, it's hard to say the worst, it's just by default, the 7th place is The Chamber of Secrets, the second book. That's what we both ranked last. I put the 5th book as 3rd in my personal hierarchy.
Okay, that makes sense because I hear a lot of I hear the second one being dissed the most, probably, especially the second movie, but the second book as well is like the one that people typically leave off a whole lot. So,
and it was really by default. I just thought it had a little less than the 3rd in the first book, and we definitely grouped the first 3 books as last because they are just so much smaller and more children's books, and not quite young adult yet. And yeah, all 3 of those were last.
Fair enough. Well, like I said, we're in between books, and I like to do a few just for funsies episodes, in the middle, just to, add some new material in there instead of just doing chapter by chapter every week. And it's a fun little break. It's fun things to dive into. This week, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about different Harry Potter theories that we have either come up with ourselves or heard. Most of these I did not come up with myself. I've heard these. Huge credit to people like the Super Carlin brothers. A lot of these theories are theirs. HP Theory, some of these are his as well. I did not know that HP Theory, that he was jacked. Okay. He posted a picture recently where he's just looking huge. And I was like, holy frick. I didn't know he was like that. And I chatted with him just for a second. And he mentioned that his like bench max was like, 425 or something like that. And I thought, holy crap, that's insane.
I need to see this picture. I did mean to ask you because Harry Potter Theory is who also I went through to prepare for this. And he is like, if you search Harry Potter podcast, I feel like HP Theory is the number 1 result after, I guess, maybe some Warner Brothers stuff. He's everywhere. He's been so consistent. And you basically have had everyone who comes across my feed, you've had them on your podcast. And so I was going to ask, like, hey, do you know HP Theory? Is he coming on soon? Because you've had everybody, and I assume you're working.
That is a bucket list item. Listeners, message HP Theory. Let him know we want him on the pod. He seems like a really cool dude, and so I'd love just to have him on. So at the moment, there's nothing, just an unanswered DM. But
Very good.
I hope in the future he has like thousands and thousands and thousands of followers and subscribers, and so I'm sure it's just that he just hasn't seen it yet. That's all it is.
I'll message him as you say, hey, I'm a podcaster, but I don't deserve you. Go to Barry. I'll be a follower, a listener, and I'll message as you're as you're asking your follow-up.
Well, then I'll
so.
make him play the much needed book only Ultimate Unofficial Harry Potter trivia game.
Perfect.
Reparo. Future Barry here with a slight update. I actually did get to chit chat with HP Theory just for a little bit the other day. We messaged back and forth on Instagram. Really cool dude. Had a wonderful conversation. No plans for a future episode at the moment, but he did send me a workout program to increase my deadlift. So if you're watching on the YouTube and you see me sitting up a little bit straighter, you'll know why. But I just wanted to hop on really quickly to say two things about that. One, please don't message him asking, hey, go on Retold Podcast and all that stuff, because he and I already chit-chatted and it was a good time. But the other thing was I really, really wanted to just shout out and thank his channel, HP Theory, and the Super Carlin Brothers channel, because so many of the theories that we talk about today come from those two channels specifically. So I'll leave links to those in the description of this video or this episode if you're listening on another platform. But yeah, shout out to them, HP Theory, Super Carlin Brothers, wonderful channels if you want to hear more about different Harry Potter theories. And you probably already have, but just in case you haven't. Anyway, back to the podcast. But yeah, so a lot of these theories, and we'll, if we can think of them in the moment, we'll shout them out, whoever they were. And then, but yeah, we're going to describe these theories a little bit. If we need to go a little more in depth, we will. And we will rate them on this tier list. If you're watching on the YouTube, you can see the tier list that I've made. Scott and I came up with the different names for it. So let's go through the order. At the top, for like absolutely certain this is probably true, like this is, I believe it, I wrote Daggum near canon. All right. That just seemed fun enough to me. It doesn't sound Harry Potter-ish, but for some reason, I really wanted to say that. Daggum near canon.
I hope you get to say it a lot this podcast. So you're at 2, so I'll start a count. You're at 2.
And then the second one is 9 3/4, which is like, it's mostly true. I could see it mostly being true, like probably. And then we have headcanon, which is, I think I could believe, if you want to believe it, you believe it. There's enough evidence for it, or not enough to refute it. So sure. And then there's ridiculous, which is heck. I really, not heck. No, that's the next one. But this one's more like probably not. I really don't see it. It sounds a little ridiculous to me. And then the last one, I love this. Scott came up with this. Poo. Poo. No way that's true. It's stupid. Not only is there nothing to support it, there's probably stuff actively going against it. So those are the different rankings in the tier list. So Scott,
beautiful. Let's
get it started. The way that I imagine we'll do it is I'll select the theory, say a little bit about it, and then we'll decide. Then I'll kick it to you for your thoughts, and then if I agree with you, I'll say, heck yeah, sounds good. And if not, I'll toss back some. I'm going to move this one over a little bit, this first one, because it's very depressing and I don't want to start out on a depressing note.
Let's start out happy. Let's start out, a little
So
positive.
this one, I downloaded a lot of these pictures on Google, but it's just, this one is, this first one is the theory that Dumbledore, when he looks into the mirror of Erised, he actually does see himself holding a pair of woolen socks. He did not lie to Harry that night in the first book. And so this one's fun because it's one of those things that like I came up with, but when I went up online, I was like, oh, other people have thought of this too.
It's hard to have an original thought.
Like, I didn't copy anybody. Yeah, I can claim this as a retold theory.
Very cool.
But lots of people have thought about this too. And so the evidence supporting this, I guess the way that the theory works is that, Dumbledore always regretted what happened with Ariana and his brother and Grindelwald and her dying specifically. And some fans have speculated that perhaps Ariana, since she could not do magic, she had to live as like a muggle doing muggle things. And so perhaps one of the things she would do for Albus during Christmas time is make him socks. And so now that she's not around anymore to make him socks, that's what he wants the most because it represents her being back and her being alive. What do you think of this theory?
The Mirror of Erised shows your greatest desire and your heart's greatest desire. And you're not straying away from his heart's greatest desire is Ariana back in his life. Are you saying that Ariana's not in the mirror at all, that it's just him in socks, or he just has socks? Socks are a part of it. Ariana's there. and he has socks, and the socks part wasn't a lie. It was a half truth. Is that really where you're going, or it's just Dumbledore holding socks?
I would say to make this theory work, it would be a half truth, and that Ariana's there, yes, as well. But it being Christmas time, it's Christmas Day. He sees the socks.
I mean, there is one kernel of truth there. Again, I think this was before we started recording. We did just talk a little bit about, some theories just have nothing to go off of, and you can't refute it and you can't support it because it's just totally made up. This has a kernel of truth in the sense of she could not do magic. Therefore, yes, she had to do things like a muggle. And she could have done that. I mean, as a half truth, I kind of like it. Again, I think there's not that much to support it, but yeah, she had to live like a muggle. So yeah, she could have been making muggle stuff for him as a nice gift. I kind of like it.
So I'm hearing this somewhere between headcanon and 9 3/4. Which one are you leaning towards?
That's exactly where I'm feeling. I feel like headcanon. I feel like that's where I'm closer, but if you wanted to push that up, I wouldn't fight.
I'm going with headcanon to start off. Maybe we'll revisit it at the end. I don't know. We'll see.
That's true.
So this one, Dumbledore seeing socks, headcanon. Another version of this theory that I saw, I thought was kind of funny. I did not include this one on the list, but there's the theory that Ron is secretly Dumbledore, the time-traveling Dumbledore. And Ron saw socks in the mirror here because his mom made him socks, and now, older Dumbledore, his mom's dead. But I'm like, but wait, she's not dead. He's in the past with his mom, technically. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to the next one. This one I got from HP Theory. It's Hagrid is rich. Hagrid is secretly rich. And so have you seen the video for this, Scott, where he talks about this?
I have not. No, I have not.
And in this one, he sort of makes reference to all of the, because Hagrid has connections with all these magical creatures. And whenever you are in Hagrid's hut, even Slughorn goes, is that unicorn hair hanging from the top? Like the rafters and all the different things in there. It's like Hagrid and the acromantula venom that he could get whenever he wanted. Right. All the stuff that Hagrid secretly has that people don't know about. He's super wealthy. The pushback I would give against this one is that it's not liquidized. So he has the things that are worth the money, but he hasn't gotten money for it yet. That would be the only pushback. But he does, even based on canon, he does have all the stuff that is worth him a lot of money.
Yeah. At that point, that's not a theory, right? Yeah, that's just a good point that Hagrid's, assets are quite high. His liquid cash, not that good, but assets, very high if he actually accumulated them. I thought we were going like Ron Swanson style, where Hagrid has just buried a bunch of gold throughout the Forbidden Forest, throughout the grounds, and he can access that at any time. And he's basically his own Gringotts, which I was curious to hear the support for. This, I don't know how to classify this. I feel like this is, this is a fact to me, not a theory. I don't know.
So we're saying it's daggum near canon.
I mean, yes, I suppose I am. Do I think this should qualify as a theory at all? I think I'm leaning towards no, but that is, I guess I don't think that's why I'm here. So,
that's what makes it daggum near canon. What else would go into that category?
It's a good spin. Slughorn has really broken that down for us. If Slughorn was looking for cash, I feel like, the first place you'd go is Hagrid's hut. And
there you go. All right, moving on to the next one. I got this one from the Super Carlin brothers. When I first started watching this video, I thought there's no way, but then I liked it. And so it's to give away my hand on it. But all 4 founders had their own quote unquote secret chambers. And so we obviously know that Salazar Slytherin had his own secret chamber, but he goes even further. He says that, or they say that the Room of Requirement is Rowena Ravenclaw's secret chamber.
Cool.
They say that, I'm trying to remember the Gryffindor one. What is the Gryffindor one? This is how well prepared I am for the pod. They say there is one for the Gryffindor one. I forget what it is.
Yes, very cool.
But the other one, maybe it's. Oh no, I know what it is. It's the headmaster's office is Gryffindor's secret chamber.
Okay.
And because there is a they're like there is a literal griffin, like two griffins standing at the door in the chamber. That's their support for it. That one's a little weaker, I think. But then the last one, it sounds dumb when you say it at first, but I like it a lot. Helga Hufflepuff's secret chamber is the Great Hall. And it's not a secret because she wants everybody. She says, we'll take the rest. So that is their 4 secret chambers. Scott, what do you think of this theory?
So, secret, I thought maybe we were going down a path of like, they all kind of knew about each other's chambers, because my thought has always been like, how did Slytherin get away with this? And like, I'm sure he's an accomplished legilimens, and but Gryffindor seems to be the greatest legilimens basically of all time, based on the Sorting Hat and how incredible that is. I know everyone else contributed as well, so can't give him all the credit. But I thought maybe we were heading down a path of like everybody knows about everybody else's secret chambers. We didn't quite hit that. I think that to say that like Gryffindor's secret chamber is the headmaster's office is a little pretentious. That puts him a level above the other ones. I do like Rowena being the room of requirement. She's wicked smart. William and I have definitely theorized about how the room of requirement came to be, and how fascinating that is. And then again, if you're calling it a secret chamber and you call it I thought you were going to say like the kitchens or something, but the Great Hall for Helga, I think, is kind of cute, but mostly weak. And so I feel like I'm feeling between ridiculous and headcanon on this one.
Ridiculous and headcanon. Okay, I think...
And I'm closer to ridiculous.
I will go. I'm going to go with ridiculous. I would put it in headcanon if it was not labeled they had secret chambers. If it was like their rooms, the rooms that they made or they liked the most, like if they had favorite places, their ideas. Yeah. Yes, I could do that. But calling them secret chambers, not a fan of that. All right.
Agreed.
Next one. I have here a picture of the Sword of Gryffindor. And this one, also Super Carlin Brothers theory. It's that the Sword of Gryffindor was going to be the Horcrux that Dumbledore created, or that he created whenever the night he went to kill Harry in Godric's Hollow. And so
Voldemort. I believe you said Dumbledore, just for all the listeners there.
Sorry,
Voldemort wanted to create this Horcrux. We all knew what you meant, just clarifying.
I appreciate it.
Check the tape. Maybe I misheard, so check the tape when you're editing.
So in this theory, the way it goes is that, they thought that the way the Super Carlin brothers state it is that Gideon and Fabian Pruitt, who are both Gryffindors, had the sword appear to them. They're surmising, potentially, appear to them in their epic fight with, I think they fought against 4 or 5 Death Eaters. I forget how many, but it was multiple Death Eaters. And that's how they died. And so the Death Eaters take the sword from them. And Dumbledore takes the sword, I did it again. Probably Voldemort takes the sword with him to Godric's Hollow because he always wanted the sword. It's like stated by Dumbledore. He wanted to find the sword. He wanted the sword. And he would have created a Horcrux with it that night. What do you think?
I was going to start hating pretty quickly on like the Pruitts having it. But
that's just a way to explain how Voldemort would have gotten it.
It's actually, it actually fits a little bit. This is very interesting. Because then the question is, what would he had to have something, right? He had to have a Horcrux ready to go. This was his final.
This was his most important kill.
Yeah, I don't know Nagini's status 13 years before. I feel like Nagini is net new. Like Voldemort seemed to, or Dumbledore, now I did it. Dumbledore seemed to be unfamiliar with Nagini before, his return. Feels like Nagini's new, but I don't know. And I feel like I kind of like it. What was it going to be? Like, if it wasn't an animal that he's going to control that also represents his power, if he didn't have another snake, I think another snake or, could be the potential theory there. But I like it because we don't know of any other Founder's object that he had. And surely he wasn't going to do something small for his greatest kill and what he thought was his final kill to give him immortality. I really like it. I'm leaning on 9 3/4 at this point.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. So one of the things so I'm going to go ahead and put it in 9 3/4 as well. One of the things that I thought about as I was considering this theory was like, how would you have destroyed that Horcrux? because it only takes in that which makes it stronger. And all the things they try to use to kill Horcruxes, it's just basilisk venom and the sword. And the sword can only do it because of the basilisk venom in it. So basilisk venom isn't going to destroy the sword. Would it just, I don't know how you would destroy the Horcrux in it.
Do you think you can melt it in fiend fire?
Perhaps.
Perhaps not, though. Who knows? That's a great one.
We should make our own theory. This is our time. We'll get back to you, listeners. The next one, Mad Eye Moody's Eye.
Yes.
So this one has always been one of the biggest problems I have had in the Harry Potter series is that Harry's invisibility cloak is described as this super amazing cloak that is way better than any others. Yeah, infallible, one could say. And they sort of base it on like it's the one that came from the Peverell brothers. And specifically it says that like it can stand the test of time. Like it won't fade away. Right. But it's also kind of implied that it's just better than others. But it seems odd to me that Mad Eye Moody's eye can see through it. And so this is also a Super Carlin Brothers theory. But in this one, they state that perhaps Dumbledore made the eye with the Elder Wand. And so this being a magical item that was made with another Horcrux, it has the ability to see through
or deathly
that
hallow.
Horcrux. Sorry. Yeah. Wow. We're doing terrible on this one. What do you mean we, Barry?
We
This
are a
being
team.
something made by a Hallow can see through another Hallow. What do you think of that one?
William and I are literally discussing that next week, which will release before this is released. And we've talked about it before. That's exactly what we think. And Dumbledore is known for creating body parts for his friends. He did this for Professor Kettleburn, who, lost a lot of his limbs. Professor Kettleburn is the Care of Magical Creatures teacher before Hagrid. Mm-hmm. And Dumbledore created limbs for him as well. And no, that's absolutely what I think it is. And Dumbledore, again, he's had the cloak. He had the cloak in theory for 14 years. I feel like he spent some time with it. Dumbledore's very humble. He says he wasn't the master of the Hallows. I only had the meanest of them all. But he's the closest thing we had to the Master of Death, besides Harry Potter himself, who truly was the master of all three of the Hallows. And again, he's got the Elder Wand. He had the cloak for 14 years. If anyone's doing it, it's him. Yeah, I absolutely think Dumbledore created it. That is my headcanon, but to me, it's well above headcanon. I think this is 9 3/4 or daggum near canon. And yes, I know this is not an original thought, but yeah, without looking this up, that's exactly the result that William and I came to.
Fantastic. I agree. I'm going to put it at 9 3/4 because it's about, I don't think it's quite daggum near canon because right. I think some of the things about the cloak are too amorphous, ethereal. We just don't know, but it's right. Close as you can get to daggum near. You know what? Matter of fact, we'll even put it at the top.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
All right, this next one, and this is a retold original, a Barry original.
Yes.
All right. I thought of this one myself. But it's probably, again, it's not an original thought. I'm sure other people have looked it up. But my theory is that Dumbledore can use ancient magic, and that's what makes him way better than all these other wizards out there. So Hogwarts Legacy, although it's not canon, it sort of brought into, it made ancient magic, which is referred to in the canon series. It made it this thing that certain wizards are able to see and use. In the main series, ancient magic is only ever something like to refer to deep magic, this like the power of love, certain things that I guess when I was looking it up and trying to find support for the theory, like things that refer to that you find in nature a lot of the times.
Right.
But because your character in Hogwarts Legacy, he's a 5th year who has never done magic before or he's never gone to Hogwarts at all. This is his first time going, so he's just thrown into the 5th year. He's able to keep up and, put down goblin rebellions all because he can use ancient magic. And so my thought was Dumbledore is leagues ahead of everybody. Leagues ahead. It's not even close. Even Voldemort feared him. My thought is he beat Grindelwald when Grindelwald had the Elder Wand. So I'm like, he's dope. All right. He's sick with it. I think he's got to have ancient magic. So that's my theory. What do you think, Scott?
I like this a lot. I have the couple theories that I'm bringing. You did, the vast majority of the legwork here. I also have some Agent Magic thoughts along there, and I like this theory a lot. I do want to put in a second theory here of, Rita Skeeter. She says a lot of true things while telling a lot of lies. But usually the crux of her story is true. Hagrid is indeed a half giant. Harry Potter actually was, having fits all over the castle. Victor Crumb actually did say, "Will you come visit me over the summer?"
Mm-hmm.
Rita Skeeter also says, "Did Grindelwald and Dumbledore actually have a fight?" And we don't get to read that chapter. I would love to hear that chapter, but she says that.
Mm-hmm.
I assume based on Bathilda. And again, Rita Skeeter says a lot of truth. Did he actually beat Grindelwald? I don't know. That's a second theory. That's a secondary theory here. Does Dumbledore have ancient magic? I like to think he does. He is it. The level that he is above the next closest wizard to him, which will be Voldemort, but then the next level below that, it's like Bellatrix is the strongest Death Eater, and she is trembling with fear as Dumbledore approaches. The first thing she says to Voldemort when she sees him in the Ministry of Magic is, "He's here, Master. He's here." She's just so horrified. And like Dumbledore's level up, it can't just be he studied harder, or I don't know. I feel like, yeah, he's got something. And ancient magic, after, I'm taking too long on this, but after we get Hogwarts Legacy, ancient magic, I think, is a great explanation. I feel like 9 3/4 headcanon is where I would sit with this.
Yeah, and the other thing I forgot to mention as support for it is he's the character who mentions ancient magic the most. Like
True.
He's the one who talks about it more than any other character. The reason I agree, I'm going to put it in 9 3/4. I love this precious little theory of mine. I'm not going to put it. I wouldn't fight for it to be in daggum near canon because ancient magic in Hogwarts Legacy is not canon, so I can't vehemently use it as an arguing point. I don't think, because that's kind of what seals it for me.
Do we think that Newt Scamander, I'm thinking of things that Dumbledore does, like when he's trying to find the cave and he's doing things that no other wizard, we don't see anything like this, when he's just looking for traces of magic.
Leaves traces. Yeah.
Yes. I feel like Newt Scamander does something similar when he's tracking and he's blowing dust and he's seeing a whisper of the past. I feel like both of them are just doing things in those two scenes that we never see elsewhere. And I don't know. I feel like there's a little ancient magic in there, but anyways.
I agree. Maybe Newt had it too. One more thing I wanted to say before we move on to the next theory and we jump into any others is that before the pod, Scott and I made clear to one another that we have the ability to use Felix Felicis.
Oh, yeah.
So far we seem in pretty lockstep with one another, but if we come to a moment where we vehemently disagree with the other, we can use Felix Felicis to put our idea over the others on where we should place a theory. Just want to mention that. I should have said that at the top. All right, this next one. This is the one that I moved at the beginning. It's very dark.
Okay.
And so here's the thing. It's probably the most upsetting theory I've run across. However, I do think it's fascinating and there's a lot of support for it. So I read this a long time ago. I think I heard it on MuggleCast years and years ago. So this might be a MuggleCast theory. However, it has recently gotten a lot of traction on the Pottergram because the Super Carlin brothers did just make a video about this, but I don't think it's original to them. But anyway, it's that Bertha Jorkins was pregnant and Voldemort used the baby to make his rudimentary body. And so let me lay this out for you because there is a lot of evidence in canon to support this. So one, she disappeared at the ministry's most busy time. All right. This is the World Cup going on. They're super busy right now. Not only the World Cup, but also preparing for the Triwizard Tournament. They even talk about how they cannot spare ministry workers because they're so busy. The only reason, so why would she be allowed to go? One answer could be she was pregnant. She needed that time off. She goes to visit her family in Albania. So again, a potential reason to go visit family is to tell them the news or to get assistance and to get help. Number 3, she gets led away into the woods by Wormtail. How is Wormtail able to lead her away? And the way like the Super Carlin brothers phrased it in their video is perhaps baby daddy's not in the picture. She's in need of a man to be the father, and she's even willing to settle for Wormtail. And that's what makes her more willing to go along with him. And so those are the evidences that she could have been pregnant. And it also speaks to why Ludo Bagman might not have been that worried about her, because everybody's like, you need to go find her. Something could have happened. And he's like, yeah, I know something happened. She had her baby. So those are 4 evidences that she was pregnant. And then the idea that Voldemort used it. Well, when we see it, it's described. You and I did those chapters together on the this podcast, but it was something like a baby is what it's described as, something like a baby. How did that body coalesce into something? Because the rudimentary body potion is only composed of Nagini's venom and unicorn blood. But that does not a body make. Maybe Voldemort, he was able to inhabit snakes and other creatures. Perhaps he was only able to inhabit the weakest form of a human possible, a baby. So that's the theory. Scott, what do you think?
A couple of thoughts. One, good point on she works for the Department of Magical Games and Sports. You don't have time for this. Like, there's no reason that she should not be working. That's a good point. Never thought of that. 2 is with Wormtail. Like, what is actually happening when Wormtail takes her out to the woods? Like, she sees that it's Peter Pettigrew, and surely, like, this is a recognition. She's like, holy crap, it's Peter Pettigrew. And then she's like, I need to know what's happened to you over the last 13 years. And she's fascinated. And I just think there's no way that she was looking for a baby daddy in Wormtail. Like, this guy's been dead for 13 years. I think that's a horrible point. But
Fair enough.
I also am truly curious. Like, you don't have to actually answer. This could be rhetorical, but I am actually asking, like, how did he like interact? Like, that's definitely one I want to see, like, on HBO show. Like, show me how Peter does his work. Show his journey to Voldemort and how he gets Bertha. Because I struggle to visualize it. And then from there, from taking over this baby's body, truly horrifying. You were right. Good job on skipping this one. I feel like I have always thought that this baby form, like, he used a potion and a spell to take his very damaged soul and turn it into what that soul would appear like in a physical form. Because to me, tell me if I'm wrong here, like, Voldemort pre-graveyard, like, that thing that gets dropped into the cauldron looks just like what Harry sees in King's Cross. And that is just the best physical manifestation of a human body that his damaged and maimed spirit can create. And the fact that it's a baby has nothing to do with a baby was there. It's that's what Voldemort's soul that's what his soul looks like if you tried to turn it into a human body. Do you picture those two things the same? I picture them the exact same. What's dropped into the cauldron is exactly what's at King's Cross.
I think that is so. I'm not entirely sure that like the books paint it exactly the same as like how the movies do, but I do agree because it is what is invoked in my mind. So I think that's a great counterpoint to that one specifically. The last one I'll throw out there to be in support of this theory is something Voldemort says is, they have to break through the memory charms that are under Bertha Jorkins, or that she's under. But he says 2 things. He goes, her mind and body were ruined. So not just the mind, which is what would have happened with the the memory charms, but her body as well. And it's like, why would the body be met? Now he could just be talking, it could just be like a turn of phrase kind of thing there. But that's the last one that I would use to support it.
I see. I mean, yeah, the Longbottoms, their bodies were seemingly fine despite being tortured into insanity. So the mention of body, I think, is curious. That doesn't necessarily point me to her body was ruined because I ripped her unborn baby out of it. But he does say body. He does say that. I feel like I don't know where you're feeling about this. I'm feeling around ridiculous, and I was considering like, should I use my Felix for a poo here? Just because I think there's some points here that don't fit, but I don't hate all of it. And so I don't think I feel that strongly. I'm feeling around ridiculous for this.
I'm leaning closer towards headcanon. Are you cool if we put it in headcanon?
We're one apart. I'm never going to argue about being one apart. That's somewhat
fantastic. We'll go ahead, and you know what? We'll even keep it at the bottom of headcanon. Everything that goes into headcanon, we'll put it right above it.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Okay, this next one, super famous theory. Whole lot of people have heard it, but it's that Crookshanks was the Potter's cat, and the evidence for this being she's part Kneazle. Kneazles can live a very long time. We know that Newt and Tina's Kneazles live for years and years and years. I think it's maybe even like upwards of 30 years, something like that. I forget the exact number, but Kneazles can live a long time. So perhaps half Kneazles can live a very long time. Right. And it's the only other thing making this a theory is that, well, two things. One, the Potters did own a cat. So they happen to have a cat themselves. And then the other one being that, this cat was friendly with Sirius and not so friendly with Wormtail. Scott, I'm sure you've heard this. What do you think of this theory?
No, this is a great one. As William and I, we did a multi-episode series on every single J.K. Rowling essay that is on HarryPotter.com. And in this one, the Potter's essay about the Potter family has a painting of the Potter family. And in that painting, it's basically Crookshanks. And that was like the number one support for this theory. Like what's posted on HarryPotter.com is a cat with a smush face, very ginger, very big. That is the Potter's cat. And yes, I think this is daggum near canon. I don't like the Sirius and Pettigrew stuff. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like maybe, but I mean, basically, like that picture to me, it was like, this is HarryPotter.com. This is what I'm reviewing these because I consider everything in here canon. And yeah, it looks like Crookshanks.
Fantastic. Okay. I was leaning more towards 9 3/4, but you sounded so confident. So I'll put it up here at daggum near canon.
All right, here we go.
All right. Our next theory. It's that, so here you see I have a picture of Neville and Snape. And this theory goes that Snape didn't just hate Neville because he was a Gryffindor.
I like this.
But he hated Neville because Neville could have been the chosen one. Neville could have been the one that Voldemort chose. And if he did, Lily wouldn't have had to die. Now, one could then counter argue and say, well, then the Potters would have been turned into like crazy lunatics. Who knows? But you don't know. You don't know what could have happened. They could have still been protected by the Fidelius charm. So,
yes.
Who's to say? But that's the theory. What do you think, Scott?
I like this theory a lot. I have not thought about it before I read it on your Google sheet, but Snape would know better than anyone. Snape is the one who passes this information to Voldemort of, surely he knows better than anyone. There were two choices. Again, Dumbledore, we know, has this information. Surely Snape does as well. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Again, we know that Snape pleaded with Voldemort to not kill Lily. Surely before he pleaded for that, he pleaded, go after the Longbottoms. I feel like there's almost no scenario where he's not giving this information. And, oh, by the way, Dark Lord, here's my recommendation. Got to be Longbottom. He's a pureblood. I mean, surely he's going that way. I really like it. I also think counterpoint, Snape hates weakness and like, I don't know, Neville is weak, but I like this. I feel like I can't go back to back daggum near canon, but that's where my head's at.
You go, let's go with at the top of 9 3/4.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
Move Mad Eye.
Come on. Mad Eye is firm. Firm and steadfast.
That's right. A bulwark, one might say. All right. Next one is that I have here a picture of Argus Filch holding Mrs. Norris. And this theory is that Mrs. Norris is a maledictus. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure that both Carlin Brothers and Potter Theory or HB Theory have done videos on this. I haven't watched them, but I think this is I don't think this is unique to them. I think this is a regular theory that is like in the fandom. But one, her name is Mrs. Norris, implying some
Yes.
form of marriage, you know?
Yes.
And he seems to just have somewhat of a, really all it is that he has a very unhealthy attachment to this cat, something more than just what you would for a pet. And also, it's also implied that Mrs. Norris has more intellect than the average cat, and is
Yes.
able to not sniff things out, but like, you don't get like suss things out, sort of. And for anybody who doesn't know what a maledictus is a human who is under a blood curse that will eventually turn them into an animal. The only other known one that we have in the series is Nagini. Nagini used to be a woman, and then because she had this blood curse of being a maledictus, it's like a reverse almost, or it's like an awful version of a animagus, in that you were able to turn into your animal form, but one day you can't turn back. But Scott, what do you think of this theory?
First of all, this gives me vibes of Animorphs, one of my favorite childhood series, where if you stay as that animal for more than 2 hours, you become that animal forever.
Mm-hmm. The eagle.
Shout out Tobias, yes, our hawk.
The hawk,
Yes,
that's right.
that does not count as a correction. And the other supporting evidence here, because William and I came across this as we did our deep dive on the Marauders map, is that Mrs. Norris is the only animal that comes on the Marauders map. And to me, that's exactly where I headed was,
wow.
Animals do not show up on this. As far as we know, this is the only animal that shows up. And to me, that is evidence number one. J.K. Rowling actually, I think has a quote about this. And basically it was like, it's more like Filch has such a connection with her that, she shows up because of Filch. But to me, I don't like that at all. And I just feel like she hadn't thought of Maledictus yet. And, the movies of Fantastic Beasts hadn't come out. And to me, that makes so much more sense. I feel like the Marauders map is the number one evidence for me. And I think this is daggum near canon from my perspective.
Daggum near canon. Okay, let's do it. I like it. You couldn't go back to back to back, but you back to skip
call.
back. Okay. This theory, I like this one. And I hesitate to say I like this one because I know I've heard people in the Harry Potter fandom get angry at people who
I might get
believe
angry.
this theory.
Let's find out.
But I find it so fascinating. And the theory is that Salazar Slytherin is not as evil as we make him out to be. He's not as racist as we make him out to be. Now, you could still call him those things, but here's the argument. And it's more so there's really only one piece of evidence to go with it. But in the medieval ages, around the time Hogwarts is being built,
Right.
wizards were under intense persecution. At least it's funny. I remember it being historically speaking, that was after the medieval ages, but that's fine. But in Harry Potter canon, that's what took place. And wizards had to go into hiding, had to go underground. And so Salazar Slytherin, he was of the opinion that the school should be only a place for purebloods, only those to all magic families. And they should keep it within that. And he only said that, at least in large part, because he was trying to protect the students, not because he hated Muggleborns or half-bloods, but because he was protecting wizards who had been under intense persecution. And so it makes him this cool kind of understandable villain is what I kind of understand it as. But what do you think?
So are you going to finish that? I mean, I have two things here. One is, we have to continue them with the rest of his actions. One is he leaves the school. So if he really cares about the children, he just kind of abandoned them all. And then two, of course, he didn't abandon them all. He actually left a basilisk to murder them. And so do you have any refute on that? Otherwise, I feel like I have to declare poo.
The only refutations would be one, he did leave something. He left the snake to protect the purebloods from the evil mudbloods.
The evil mudbloods. Okay, yeah.
The ones who would go home and tell their families, who would eventually attack Hogwarts. All right, you've got me. Poo. Let's put it there. I still like it, kind of.
I think it's more
like a villain origin story.
Exactly. If we have a Founders movie, if we have a Founders movie, surely this is what any writer would do: is make Salazar relatable. And yes, that's how it would go. His dad was killed by a Muggle, and his sister was tortured by a Muggle, and yeah, it'll easy money.
Fantastic.
We should start writing and submit this to HBO.
I love it. There's probably a fanfic of it out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, next one. Dumbledore has a secret spy network using the chocolate frog cards. And the way this works is that, in book 5, whenever they remove him from being the head of the Wizengamot, I think it's Bill or Charlie who says something like, he says he doesn't care though, as long as they don't take him off the chocolate frog card, showing like how important it is. Again, you could dismiss that as whimsical Dumbledore, but who knows? Maybe it's a little more important. And we know that portraits are able to converse with one another. The two counterpoints I would give to this one before I toss it to you. One is, as I just said, you could write it up as just Dumbledore kind of brushing it off, saying something whimsical to the kids. And two, I feel like I don't think every single picture in Harry Potter has the portrait ability. Like when we talk about like when we see people in photographs, they don't have that I can speak to you ability. It's just magic film and what it's made in that is able to give it something special. And I think that is what is on the chocolate frog cards. I think it's fun, but I personally don't buy it. But I did think it was. If anybody could make it happen, I think Dumbledore could,
Yes. First of all, I 100% agree with there's no way chocolate frog cards can talk. They're not putting that much magic into them. They are mass-produced static pictures. And even if they could talk, I recently read, again, a J.K. Rowling essay on this, and it's even the portraits, like the fat lady or Sir Cadogan, like, they can remember some things, but really they are caricatures of themselves and do not have any depth. And it's the portraits of the headmasters that we see actually useful. And those are very special. Those take so much time, and those are not the chocolate frog cards. But I guess, I know I take too long on these, but like, are we saying that like the Dumbledore card then flitters to another card and goes and talks to that card and says, hey, what did you see while living in this wizard home? And then flitters back, and like Dumbledore like keeps a chocolate frog card with him and is like, hey, Dumbledore, go talk to every other chocolate frog card in the world. Like, what is actually happening here in this theory?
He just pulls it. It's walkie-talkies. Like puts it next. It's like bugging, like what Malfoy does, holds it up and speaks to it.
Is that the theory?
I think we've talked ourselves into poo on this one.
It's definitely poo. Unless someone wants to say, like, yeah, any Dumbledore could go visit any other Dumbledore, and like that would be fascinating and insane.
You can't expect him to hang around all day, can you? There's just one. No. Okay, this next one. It's you might not be able to tell. This is some fan art, I believe. Sorry, I didn't figure out whose fan art it was. Of Minerva McGonagall. As a Quidditch player back in the day, because we know she played. It was from I know that from the Rowling essays that she was big into Quidditch. But this theory goes that McGonagall is a gambling addict, that she gambles on sports so much, and that she was actually gambling on the Hogwarts Quidditch matches, and that's why she was so adamant that Harry, this super talented Quidditch player, only in his first year, like that. He is able to break the rules, and why she pushes for it, because she had some money, she had some skin in the game, and she needed the best Quidditch player she could get on her team. Scott, what do you think of this?
And I feel like the other biggest support there is that school funds buy him a broom, which we see no other examples of. Nothing coming close to that. Like the Weasleys are again tripping around on 40-year-old brooms, and Harry's just like, not brand new Nimbus. That's for you, Potter.
And she also gets super hype about every game. Like she is really into it. And whenever they lose, she's like, I couldn't look Severus in the face for weeks afterwards. So she is super into these games. She's yelling over Lee Jordan at times, not just the times when she yells at him to shut up, but sometimes she joins in the yelling with him. So
the original Harry Potter podcast that I listened to was on the Ringer binge mode with Mallory Rubin and Jason Concepcion, and I probably said his last name wrong. Apologies, because I know they're listening. And they this was one of their recurring bits. They always talked about McGonagall just being deep in debt and had to win these Quidditch matches, or they never stopped talking about it. To me, I don't know if we can call this daggum near canon, but to me, I love this. It's at least 9 3/4 for me.
I think this is super fun and really silly. The biggest pushback I get to me is that it goes against everything about her character that I feel like we know, as far as the rule following aspect of her. That she's so just like, even with her own students, she's adamant that they not disobey and follow the rules. So it seems hard to imagine that she would end up like this. She's described as a tightwad. So I was closer to ridiculous, but I'll meet you in the middle at headcanon.
I mean, to counter your counters, like she, again, breaks the first year rules. She breaks a rule that we don't know about, the school funds to buy him a broom. And then when he is in trouble, like, every time he's in trouble, Quidditch has nothing to do with his punishment ever. Right? Like, he's beating the crap out of Malfoy at a Quidditch match, like, detention, but you're staying on the Quidditch team. That's for sure. Like, Quidditch has nothing to do with her rule following. I don't know. I'm just saying.
All right. I think I'll toss out my Felix Felicis. I'm going to put it in headcanon.
I don't think it should go higher than headcanon. I just needed to say that. You don't have to use your Felix Felicis.
Okay.
I agree with headcanon.
Okay. The next one. This one's kind of fun. It's that Dumbledore made Ron's name a taboo, and that's how the Deluminator was able to bring Ron back to Harry and Hermione in book 7. My only problem is, and it's true that they don't say his name at all until that moment when he does come back after he departs. My biggest problem with it is nothing else about it makes sense. When I'm considering it, it's like, why didn't it do anything when he was around them before? Because they mentioned his name before when they had it. Why wouldn't it have, unless you're able to activate some sort of, because I also thought about, or in the Ministry of Magic, when they had it and people were saying Ron's name, how come nothing happened then?
Right.
Perhaps Dumbledore cast some spell on it to make it only activate after a certain point, is what you could argue. To me, this leans closer to ridiculous, but Scott, what do you think?
I mean, I guess I don't fully comprehend it, but like, right, the put-outer, the Deluminator, it basically heard Harry and Hermione saying Ron and then created a port key basically to get Ron to their exact location or close to their location. And it was the word Ron that triggered it. So the Deluminator is attached to the word Ron. It was enchanted to follow them saying Ron, but that doesn't mean like the whole world Ron's name is taboo. And that's what the theory is trying to say. Like, it was the exact same as Voldemort. Like, if you say it, then I don't know. I guess I don't totally understand it, but ridiculous works for me.
Yeah, because I think perhaps somebody other than us could make a better argument for the theory, knowing more about it. But
yeah.
Listeners, we have a lot of theories on this board. I didn't understand everything. Yeah,
I feel like sometimes I make bad takes on purpose just so that, people can be like, that's a stupid take. And, that's where the comments come from. So this could be one of those. We did it on purpose.
Bait spotted.
Exactly.
All right, next one. This is a famous theory that is out there in the fandom, but it's that Ron is a seer. All right. And so the evidence for this one is that a lot of his predictions, especially like those that he makes in Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire, come true.
Right.
I even had a video about this where he predicts all of the events that happen to Harry in the Goblet of Fire, the obstacles that he's going to go through, of the tasks. Also in year 3, he mentions that he surmises that Harry will work for the Ministry one day, which Harry does. Those are about the only ones I can remember, but yeah, he basically he has a lot of correct theories, or predictions. I mean, Scott, what do you think of this one?
So right in the fourth one, he's like, Harry, you're gonna drown, and Harry, you're gonna
Mhm.
like have a burn, which first and second task. Um, I mean, this is obviously silly, and in other moments of Ron's seership, he's in his OWL and he's like, I see an ugly man with a wart, and he looks up and that's who his examiner is, and he does
He's not
fail
wrong.
his. I mean,
And a few
true-
seconds after he says the sentence, he sees the guy.
I mean, do these count that like Ron is like, it's true? Do these count where Ron is like so desperately wrong when like Harry, Ron, and Hermione are doing guesswork, and he's like, what if Crouch stunned Crumb and then stunned himself? And like he's just so blatantly wrong about so many things. That's not necessarily seership.
Well,
but
see, Scott, you're talking about something
Yeah.
that happened in the past there.
You're
not
right.
The future. All
You're right. I think this is silly, but I feel like I want to go through and read every single one of Ron's predictions and come back. I'm going to give myself that homework, and I'm going to come back with a firm answer. But I'll comment on this video when it posts and have a firm answer.
Okay. So I think it's a whole lot. So the theory specifically says an untrained seer. So it's like he has the ability in
That's
him.
soft. That's soft. That's a soft take. That's basically it's not soft.
That's basically any
I get-
wizard, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
So headcanon.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yay. All right, next one. Scott, I think you're going to like this one. This one
That's
I thought
good.
was fascinating. Luna is not like she. Oh, wait, no, I'm skipping over. So this other one, this one first. This one's not that fascinating. Yeah, you see a picture of Snape and a bat. The theory goes is that Snape can turn into a bat as an animagus, and the support for that goes sometimes in the series he's described as bat-like.
Yes.
Really, the main one is when he leaves the castle in book 7, he's able to fly, and Harry describes him as looking like a bat. And his cloak is often described that way too. I think, me personally, I don't like this theory. I'm against it because that one piece of evidence that we see, that the best one when he flies, it says like a bat, and he's still the same size. He doesn't like shrink down to a bat size. At least that's how I read it. It just seems like he's able to fly, which is really cool. But
It
that's
is.
kind of what it makes. What I think. Scott, what do you think?
I think, I don't know, Harry has some. I mean, maybe Snape was already really far away, or maybe Harry thought he was already really far away. Like Harry's depth perception, I don't know. Looking through his glasses, I mean,
He's a great Quidditch player. He can see that snitch. I think he's got good depth perception.
is he a great Quidditch player? We can come on Half Blood and we can debate that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure he is a great Quidditch player. And
He's one of the best I've ever seen. He's a really good Quidditch player.
I was going that I kind of like this. Well, William and I talked about Snape flying and how it doesn't seem like he flies in the same way as Voldemort, which I think is factual based on, Harry's not factual, but Harry again describes him as more flapping and Voldemort is more like smoke on the wind. So we think like, oh, Voldemort taught Snape how to fly, but it doesn't seem like he taught him how to fly, or if he did, he taught him the JV version. And how many ways does Voldemort know how to fly? I guess multiple. The way I'm thinking about it, I kind of liked it. I know you're low on this, but I mean, I'd put it at headcanon.
Okay.
And
I can go headcanon on it. I can go headcanon.
his arch nemesis are all becoming animagus. What's the plural? Animagi. And I don't know, Snape, I could see him just being like, well, I'm going to do it too. I mean, there's a lot of unregistered. Why can't Snape be one?
Yeah, once he finds out that they're Animagi, he might want to get on their same level. I can see
Exactly.
it. Does he know that they're Animagi, like
I guess
during
not.
his
He
time at
would've-
Hogwarts?
You're right. He doesn't, because he would have told Dumbledore. So disproved. He would have told Dumbledore immediately. Instantly.
All right, next one. So this is the one that I thought was interesting. I don't know where I would put it on this list, but I did. It broke my heart when I read it, and it's that Luna doesn't actually believe in like Nargles and all these different crazy creatures that she makes reference to or the different theories in the Quibbler, but she's doing it for her father's sake because her mother did believe in this stuff. And we know, like, I think somewhere it said that like Luna is the spitting image of her mother. And so she's just trying to like endear herself to her father and like cheer her father up from the loss of her mother. What do you think of this?
So I feel like this falls into the theory of you have literally nothing to go on, right? This is just like she's doing it to be nice because her mom died. That's it.
That's a
But
good
we have
point.
no support. We have absolutely no support for this. I feel like spending 7 years as a tortured loser who everyone steals your stuff and openly mocks you basically at all time would be a very tough thing to do when you're not with your dad 10 months a year. I feel like fake it at home and don't fake it at Hogwarts. I feel like this is poo. It is cool. It's touching. I love Luna. I think she has a heart of gold. She could do something like this, but there's just nothing to go off here.
I like what you said there. I could see it as something she could do, but not something she did do. So I agree. Poo. Poo.
All right.
All right. Next one. Molly, and this is, I'll say it. Molly knew that Harry was going to be at platform 9 3/4 and was there to help him onto the train. I think as I say that, what triggers in so the reason people think this is like, there's no way that they would have just left Harry by himself there. Because it's not like in the movies where Hagrid all of a sudden be like, oh shoot, I got to go. But in the book, it's a set date and people know that the Dursleys are dropping him off. At least those at Hogwarts kind of could surmise that. But how on earth would he know to get onto the platform? Are they trusting that Hagrid told him? Perhaps. But they just think they need a responsible wizard that was going to put him onto the platform. Molly's going to be there. Let's use Molly. As I say that, I still think kind of there's nothing in canon to support that. And like what you were saying, I don't know. I can't think of any lines that hint at it. It's just a inclination, that Molly is very motherly and kind. But other than that, I can't think of much else.
I feel like the Wizarding World in most experiences is quite the opposite, where they're not really thinking about how a Muggle person would like. He also experiences flu powder for the first time with the Weasleys, and they don't do a great job there teaching him there. I just feel like, I don't know. First, I'm trying to think of other good examples. I guess I can't think of any, but I feel like the Wizarding World is the exact opposite, where they never really give you all the details that you need, and you're flying by the seat of your pants. And Hagrid said, it's all on your ticket. And I just don't think Hagrid's thinking about Harry as a Muggle. He's thinking everybody knows how to get onto platform 9 3/4. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Let's go with, is it ridiculous or is it poo?
I feel like it's ridiculous, not poo. It's not like stupid. It is nice. Like, I would like to think that the Wizarding World is thinking about Harry like that, but I don't know. They left him to the Dursleys for 11 years and Mrs. Fig couldn't even say, hi, I know who you are.
Good point. Good point. We're getting close to the end of all the ones that I had mentioned. So one of the last ones is that Albus Dumbledore knew that Sirius Black was innocent, but the reason he did not speak up more, the reason he didn't push for his escape, like to get him out of Azkaban, is because he needed Harry to stay with the Dursleys so that the blood magic would work to protect him, like being at the house of a next of kin relative. And with Sirius out of prison, he would not have had an argument against that. Scott, what do you think of this theory?
I think that Dumbledore in, 1981 seems to be in charge. And he places Harry exactly where he wants to without any Ministry of Magic approval in any way, as far as I can tell, of, hey, I'm taking Harry to his family, which makes sense. I mean, that's the natural place for him to go. Then, yes, his godfather would be the second place. I think that if he knew Sirius was innocent and Sirius is a part of the Order and Dumbledore would tell Sirius, like, Dumbledore would sacrifice for Harry. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible that he would let someone be in Azkaban to save Harry Potter, to save humanity. He he makes those decisions all the time, but couldn't he like explain it to Sirius? And the Ministry doesn't seem to care. Again, Dumbledore is controlling all of this. The Ministry is very uninvolved in Harry's life. I know that's not true. They keep tabs. That's the Ministry says they keep tabs on Harry. But no, I don't like it. He could explain it to Sirius. Hey, Sirius, he needs this for the blood protection. You don't get to have him. And that's the end of it.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you on just about everything you said. So where I'm leaning is ridiculous, and maybe even the worst ridiculous one. The reason I wouldn't put it in poo is because, as you said, I can see Dumbledore sacrificing big for Harry, and I can also see Sirius as being unreasonable about sending Harry to a Muggle family, especially this Muggle family that James did not interact well with. So I would put it ridiculous instead of.
Ooh,
you didn't say
that's a good point.
But, yeah.
Thinking of the J.K. Rowling essays of how much James hates Vernon, that's actually a really good point. And Sirius would have been there, or at least heard about all those interactions, but certainly he would have been at the wedding. That's a really good point. And it does bring up, I feel like someone brought it up as a plot hole recently on a comment of like, how did Dumbledore not like try a little harder to understand like who the secret keeper was? Like Dumbledore, he just I brushed it off. I was like, he accepted the whole story. Like, it was Peter, like Sirius, like why didn't he interview Sirius? Like, why didn't he figure this out? Well, that could be a reason, because he wanted him to be in Azkaban so that he could seal the love. I kind of like it.
The next one, and this one's kind of fun to me, it's that the golden snitch is easier to catch for the team that is ahead, and the reason people want this to be true. So there's no, to me, I don't think there's any evidence for it in canon, but the reason people want this to be true is that they want like what the chasers do to matter somewhat.
Yes.
They want what the chasers do to matter, to have an impact on the game. So perhaps there's this magical correlation between the score and the snitch and the seeker. Scott, what do you think of this theory?
I have never thought of this before I read it on your Google Sheet. Number one, I love this. I am a same desperate Harry Potter fan who wants Quidditch to make sense. Two, we see this in other aspects. I'm thinking of Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing, where you get 10 bananas. You get 10 bananas, you're flying. You're going faster than everybody else. You get 20 coins on the, Mario in the Switch 2. You're flying. Like, the accumulation of these coins, which seem somewhat useless, are not useless. You need those coins. You need those quaffle points. It helps with the overall match. I like it. I mean, again, there's nothing to go off of here. It's almost certainly not in J.K. Rowling's head, but I love it.
I love the Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing pool. That's crazy. I think this deserves to go to headcanon. It kind of breaks our rule of nothing in canon to support it, but argument from silence. I don't see anything to go against it.
Exactly.
And if the team is losing, it's the seeker on the other team that was losing that ended up winning was just that good. You know what I'm saying? So let's go with headcanon. I like it. Okay. This next one. Okay, this one might be a little long to explain. I'll do it quickly. It's that Dumbledore, and I just saw this one from the Super Carlin brothers like earlier this week. Dumbledore was Snape's secret keeper. And what they are saying he kept the secret of is that Snape loved Lily. Now, the pushback I had when I first heard that was, wait a minute, I thought it was to protect houses and places, but that's not the case. When Flitwick describes it in the Prisoner of Azkaban, he just says information. He doesn't say houses. It's only used on houses, at least that we know about, but potentially that leaves the door open for it to be used on information in general. And it just seems interesting that nobody in the series ever alludes to the fact that Snape loved Lily. The only person that we ever hear it from is Dumbledore. He's the only one that knew. Now, this is the argument against it, but they track it very interestingly. Snape wanted Voldemort to spare Lily. So maybe Voldemort knew, but then the spell is cast, the Fidelius Charm, to protect it. We never hear Voldemort mention it again, never even in his inner monologue. He's willing to take Snape back. It's not one of the things he questions Snape on whenever Snape returns, because we get the whole list of all the things that he questions Snape on. So he doesn't mention it there. At least Snape doesn't bring it up to them. And then the only time Voldemort mentions it again is at the very end of the book after Harry tells him, which at that point, Harry would have already been told the secret from Snape's memories by like via Dumbledore and Snape themselves, the two people who are able to tell the secret. And then Voldemort is able to, it's almost like dawning comprehension whenever Harry tells him that Snape loved Lily in their final battle in the 7th book. So that's the theory. And they also just reference several times that like Dumbledore looked pained as if he wanted to tell Harry, but he just didn't because he wanted to show, this was the last point for it, was that Dumbledore's big pitch to Snape was, I'm more trustworthy than Voldemort. You should have put your loyalty in me, not in Voldemort. And so Voldemort Dumbledore would never tell Harry because then he would prove Snape's loyalty wrong to him. What do you think of all that? I know that was a lot, and I probably could have said it better, but what do you think of that?
That was good. I was ready to, poo all over this. Poo all over this, but I'm liking it. So basically, Dumbledore's the secret keeper. He dies, but when the secret keeper dies, everyone who knows the secret becomes the secret keeper. And what we're saying is that Dumbledore didn't tell him before he died, but he did tell him in the pensive. And Dumbledore's dead, therefore Harry's the secret keeper. Then Harry tells Voldemort, allowing Voldemort to have that realization. I kind of like it. And I guess like why no one else knows about this, I guess we'd have to think like, Lupin, Sirius, Pettigrew, like nobody ever saw like Snape and Lily hanging out. Like, I guess that's what, which I think is plausible and fine. I don't know. I think this is really interesting. Secret Keeper, I still don't understand. Again, as William and I have done lots of deep dives, yes, we have definitely landed on it is information. I threw a lot of hypotheticals at William, like, okay, could I secret keep the polyjuice potion recipe? Could I secret keep that? He's like, no. I was like, well, why not? It's information. And like, you could know exactly where Grimmauld Place is. I secret keep it. You can't get it. You can't find it. You can't do anything with it. And why couldn't I do that with a recipe? And then we talked about this with the Potters as well. Like, were the Potters' location being secret kept, or was their house being secret kept? And can you actually secret keep a human and their location, even though it's moving? Anyways, I won't redo our whole segment. I don't understand secret keeping is the whole point. And I think it's very plausible that he could have been secret keeping, yes, Snape's love.
Yeah.
I think it's plausible.
I think so that all that is great stuff. I think what they kind of allude to in the Super Carlin Brothers video is that secret keeping applies to personal information rather than general information. And they use the example of like, you can't keep the secret that the sky is blue or that it's that, but personal information. So on that grounds, I kind of like it. I'm leaning towards either headcanon or even 9 3/4 potentially. What do you think?
I'd feel closer to headcanon. But we're also, heavy on headcanon. I don't know if that's too many or are we just in the middle, but
No,
I feel like
hey, listen, if it goes there, it goes there. And I don't
like
feel that strongly for 9 3/4.
I like it.
All right. Next one. So this is one we both mentioned on the list, but so it's how on earth was Molly able to kill Bellatrix? I watched the HP Theory video, and you probably did too. And his theory is that she used Petrificus Totalis on Bellatrix's heart, at least like the muscles. She was able to use it with such precision and power directly at the heart. And the support for that is, one, it's definitely not a Avada Kedavra. We don't see that because Bellatrix is able to, like, her eyes get big and she has realization on her face. Avada Kedavra goes away, like your spirit gets ripped from your body, or your soul does, right away.
Agreed.
There's no reaction time. And then the other support being it hit her on the chest, underneath the arm, right on the chest. And it's movie watchers, I'm sorry, it's not what happened in the movie where she stiffens and cracks and then explodes into a bunch of mist and ash. But she just falls to the ground dead. And so I really like the way he phrased it in the video, was that it's Molly Weasley, just being a super skilled witch, was able to precisely power, like almost like put all of it into a pinpoint of the Petrificus Totalis right at Bellatrix's heart. What do you think of that?
I like this a lot. I like that you, first of all, dismissed the movie scene. So thank you for that, because I know in the HP Theory one, he talks a little bit about the movie, and my take on that is like, why have we been using Avada Kedavra when like Molly Weasley has had the Thanos snap spell, and we should have been Thanos snapping everybody? Avada Kedavra is weak, and
Gets rid of the
Molly
evidence when you do it the way Molly did it.
Molly is clearly the true Dark Lord, and Voldemort is weak. Anyways, just ridiculous scene.
Funny.
So disappointing. Anyways, yes, I like that theory. I know he also, HP Theory talked about like stupefy directly to the heart. Petrificus Totalis, I think, makes more sense because I feel like McGonagall, I just read this or just listened to this. I mean, she takes 4 stunners, they say, to the chest. I feel like those had to hit her heart too. Again, we're talking about Molly's skill in aiming directly for the heart, but I do kind of like it. I feel like we already talked about ancient magic. I feel like I can't remember if he talked about it in HP Theory, but I kind of like some ancient magic in here as well, where, again, is it super skilled or Petrificus Totalis directly to the heart, freeze the heart, she's dead, or some sort of like mother's love ancient magic where it's I think it's supportive the theory that you just said. It's I'm doing this spell and it's channeled through mother's love. I'm like overpowering, like, I don't know. I love this scene so much in the books. Like, it describes the floors like cracking and heated, and we don't see anything like that. Clearly something's happening. That to me, like the cracking and heating of the floor is ancient magic, like from Hogwarts Legacy. I know J.K. Rowling wasn't thinking of what's now in Hogwarts Legacy, but it's something we've never seen, which again, why the movie scene is so disappointing to me. It's just a normal duel. This is like, it's like Dragon Ball Z, like powering up and the ground is breaking everywhere, and it's things we haven't seen before. To me, it's some sort of ancient motherly magic in my mind.
So I think what I want to do, based on what you just said, because I like what you said a whole lot more than the pinpoint Petrificus Totalis. All I have here is a picture of Molly and Bellatrix. I'm changing the theory proposed to being Molly unknowingly accessed ancient magic.
Yes.
Because that's what, anytime in the series ancient magic is talked about, at least 90% of the time, it's about a mother's love and the power of that. And I like the floor cracking and all that reference too. So with that, I would put it at 9 3/4.
Let's do it. I like it.
Fantastic. Okay, we got 4 left. I think. We'll see. One of these, I have the picture of the founders. What was this? Oh, it was that the founders all had animal pets that were still alive to this day. Now, here's the problem with this theory. Here's the good thing. It's fun and I like it, but I need you to help me come up with evidence for it. I saw it on Reddit and I was like, I like this. I want it to be true, but I can't think of other things. So, 1, the basilisk for Salazar.
A fact.
And 2, all these other ones are so loosey-goosey. The second one being that the giant squid was Helga Hufflepuff's because of how friendly and kind the squid is. And it takes food. It even takes toast, which would kill a normal squid, but it takes the toast from the top. It helps students back up into the boat. It lets students tickle its tentacles. It's very kind.
I love this.
With the Gryffindor one, this one was, I didn't like this one, but it's even an article on like, I think harrypotter.com, not stating this as fact, but like comparing the two, or making a connection between the two. Yeah. That Fawkes belonged to Godric Gryffindor. Now, harrypotter.com didn't say that. It was like I think it was some article just describing relations between them, and then the fan theory spiral from there. To me, I didn't like that because I thought Fantastic Beasts established, which, if you take whatever you want from that as canon, but established that it sticks with the Dumbledore family, or that they've always had a close connection with them. So I'm not sure, but that would be the one for Gryffindor. I could not think of one for Ravenclaw. I could not. Perhaps maybe Thestrals, because like you need to experience something, gain wisdom in order to see them. But I don't know if like an eternal Thestral. So it's a bit weak, but I thought it was rather fun.
I mean, Ravenclaw, maybe Mrs. Norris. I don't know, taking one of our other theories.
Mrs. Norris.
Probably not. Probably not. But, and also going back to the Dumbledore Phoenix, I mean, I don't know, Gryffindor, Dumbledore. kind of female Gryffindor have married a Dumbledore and, taken a new name and passed on the same genes and the same Phoenix ability. I mean, maybe it got lost in
Perhaps.
history. It used to be a Gryffindor thing, and then it kind of stayed down
Became
the
a
Dumbledore
Dumbledore
line.
thing. They took it.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I kind of like the Phoenix one, but we are definitely drawing a blank on Ravenclaw. How about this? How about, I don't think the timelines match up. You said it had to still be living, but a Harry McBoone shows up in the Room of Requirement, which we already also said was a Ravenclaw creation. And so maybe her animal is somewhere in the Room of Requirement, but you have to ask for it. You have to walk by and be like, take me to the place where the animal is. And she's got a pet living in there. And
Maybe there's
it
a
has-
Sphinx living in the
Ooh, I
Room
like
of
that.
Requirement somewhere. I could see a Sphinx being the Sphinx that they
Absolutely.
use in.
Yes.
Oh no, they imported the Sphinx. They even say
They do
that.
say that.
Listen, I'm gonna throw it. It hurts me, but I would throw it in ridiculous, but at the top of ridiculous because
I'm
Just
gonna
don't
fight
see
you.
much.
I feel closer to headcanon. I feel like it's above the Chambers. I feel like the Chambers was weak,
Okay.
and it's better than that.
it just doesn't feel. I'll put it in headcanon. Why not? Okay.
I feel like we did it. I feel like, again, I'm totally good with the Phoenix and Room of Requirement. There's an animal in there. We just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, we're not wise enough to know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Or just Harry didn't care. We all the books are from Harry's point of view, so Harry doesn't care about. Harry's a notorious horrible pet owner, so surely not looking for pets in there.
So these last three are ones that you mentioned. So I'll have you
Yes.
take it away on this one. It's a picture of Narcissa Malfoy.
Okay, Narcissa Malfoy, and basically the theory of how did she lie to Voldemort when he asked her, "Is Harry alive?" Voldemort, we know, prides himself on, I can't be lied to. I always know if someone is lying. And so how did she do that? I think there's a couple good reasons, and this definitely came from HP Theory. And I think there's a couple, I don't know which of those thoughts were his and which were mine. I think they're mostly his, where, again, we're calling motherly love ancient magic again, where kind of unbeknownst to her, she is using legilimens to the next level to be able to lie to Voldemort. I think that, one, we know that people can lie to Voldemort. Snape does, we assume. Well, maybe not assume, we know. Also, this is like Voldemort's absolute weakest point, certainly from a mental perspective. And so I feel like anyone could have lied to him at that point. But again, I really like the mother's love. I think, seeing that parallel with what Molly did as well, and maybe invoking an ancient magic as well. I really like that. And the other support for this is, how a motherly love can kind of overcome a curse or something powerful is in the Ilvermorny story, where the parents are sleeping and there's a battle raging, like literally the house is shaking and they won't wake up. And then they wake up from this cursed sleep the instant they hear one of their babies cry. And I feel like you can break a curse with motherly love. You can stop Avada Kedavra with motherly love. And I think you could get through a legilimens with motherly love as well.
You make a wonderful argument. This one, so I did watch this video as well from him, HP Theory, and
You didn't think it was worthy to put on this list, so disappointing for me.
Well, no. I had put so many on. I was like, I don't know how much time we have. But anyway, no, I kind of like it, but the thing that I had a problem with, but you brought it up, is like, I have always, when I read this scene, just interpreted it as this is Voldemort's like one of his lowest moments ever.
Yeah,
where
that's all you need.
anybody could have lied to him in this moment. So I think for that reason, I would probably lean closer towards headcanon rather than 9 3/4.
I agree.
But I'd be willing to put it at the top of headcanon.
I don't even think it needs to be the top. I mean, I think it's again, I like talking about motherly love. This is a story about love, and every time love occurs, I think it's, it's
We'll put it ahead of the McGonagall theory. It'll go ahead of McGonagall gambling and Quidditch.
Deal.
Okay.
I love it.
How are you going to tell me that time turners are not plot holes?
Okay, so William and I just did this in our last podcast. It'll release next week, and I feel like I came to a very comfortable place. The plot hole is why are time turners used for a 13-year-old child to go to classes, and they're not used for important things like defeating Voldemort or things like that. Number one, we have to throw out the cursed child. The cursed child does not exist in this theory. The cursed child ruins time travel in every way, in terms of it being a plot hole. If the cursed child is real, then yes, it's a plot hole, and it's solved by the cursed child, where they go back in time a million times. And anyways, just ridiculous that that's their choice. But excited to watch it. William and I are going to New York in October, and we're going to see it.
Very cool.
We're excited. Anyways, throwing out cursed child. Time travel, the way that the time turner works, a couple rules we have to establish. One, you can only go back 5 hours. Those time turners will only let you go back 5 hours. And that's as far as you could safely go, but also that's as far as physically you can spin that thing. I'm declaring that as a fact. Two, fact, it is a closed loop time travel. And to be clear, what that means is you are not changing time. There is only one timeline. You are not on one timeline. You go back in time and it changes a timeline. The example being Harry was never kissed by that Dementor. There is no reality where Harry actually had his soul sucked out. There is one reality. Harry is the one who went back in time. Harry did not go back and change time. Harry duplicated himself for 3 hours and did good things, but he did not change time in any way. And that is important because what I'm saying is a Death Eater cannot show up at a Death Eater or a member of the Phoenix could not show up at the Potter's home after Voldemort has blown himself to bits and killed Lily and James and go back in time and change that. There is nothing they can do. It has already happened. There is one timeline. You cannot change anything. When you use a time turner, all you're doing is duplicating yourself for a period of time. It's not time travel. It is time travel. I'm being obtuse here on purpose. But it's not time travel. It's duplicating yourself. It is, I need to be in two places at once, and this is how I can do it. That's all the time turner is used for, and wizards only use it for trivial things, like being in two places at once so I can go to class. But there is no, we're going into a battle, we need the time turners. You can't go back and save Fred. Fred is dead. There's nothing you can do. You could have duplicated yourself during that time, but you would have no foreknowledge of what was happening as you are... You can't move Fred away from what already happened. It already happened. There's nothing you can do. And all you could do is duplicate yourself. But really, you're putting yourself at risk of, if I die here, then I die in my other place. And I don't know. I feel like then you could confuse yourself. You don't know if you're actually looking at yourself or is someone polyjuiced me because they knew I would be time traveling. Like, it's not time travel. It's just duplicating yourself for a period of time. That is what I've landed on. Is that a theory? I don't know. But
it's definitely a defense of time turners.
That's what it is.
But it's the theory of the defense. I think I have some pushback. On this one.
I'm listening.
I want it to be a plot hole that is filled. I want you to be the Domino's truck going around fixing the plot hole of this thing in the Harry Potter universe because it's fun to fix these plot holes.
Yes.
The issues I have with that particular defense, one, it definitely wasn't used for something trivial, though. Harry went back and saved himself and Sirius. Like, even if it is a duplication of himself, it's not a trivial thing. It is a very significant thing that took place. The other one being that, the examples we actually see take place are exactly what you described. This like closed loop, whatever happened will always happen. But the examples that Hermione gives as things that happen in history books are not that, of wizards showing up and killing their past selves or their future selves or something. If they kill their future, I think I want to look at that, because if she said they killed their future self, then that would work. But if they killed their past self, that makes no sense. There's no way of... then they would never have gone into the future to be killed by their past selves. So I won't throw that out there, but that is something I would want to look at.
Well, that is the paradox of time travel. All time travel, no matter how it is explained, will have that paradox at all times in every story that's ever existed.
But it certainly needs to be a closed loop.
Yes.
The only issue about that is the first instance of you have to like posit some theory of time that says everything is happening always at the same time. I think I've even heard that made by some scientists before. I'm not exactly sure how that works. If you ascribe to that, sure. So I'm not thrilled about it, but you seem very excited. So where would you put it?
Thank you for saying that. I do not have to put this where you need to put this where you think it belongs. You do bring up a good point. Like, it wasn't used for a trivial thing, but it was just duplication of a human. It wasn't changing the past. And again, you could use it to duplicate yourself. And yeah, I think there's a plausible world where like someone's pushing for that ministry wise, but I understand why it's lock and keep at the ministry Department of Mysteries. And from what I know about the Department of Mysteries, they are good at keeping things. Like, Voldemort tried for 10 months to steal one prophecy from the Department of Mysteries, and he failed to do so. I imagine that you also could not steal a time turner. That's what William and I theorize. You reach for a time turner and you get sucked into a time loop that you can't get out of. And I don't know. I feel like they keep them under lock and key, and they do a good job there. But then the real plot hole is why they give it to Hermione. Then they shouldn't do that.
The last pushback I would give is that even J.K. Rowling admitted she needed to get rid of them. That's how difficult they were. So I think I would be comfortable. This is how I would label this particular theory. It's time turners are not plot holes. And everything you said are just different defenses for that, but not all of the reasons. It's like whenever people ask you about how can a loving God allow suffering? And then you're like, I don't know all the reasons, but here are a few of the potential ones, so like something like that.
Well said. Well said.
So I think I could put this at the bottom of headcanon.
I accept. No takebacks.
The very bottom. Okay, and the last one here, I have a picture of a Dementor. Scott, why do I have a picture of a Dementor?
So tell me, I'm sure you've discussed this in some different ways. Do I have a theory here? I don't know. I definitely have a lot of questions. Voldemort is basically 1/6, 1/7, 1/8 of a soul at different times in his life. Maybe never 1/8, but he's a sliver of a soul. Harry is carrying around a portion of a soul, and then we know that there are Horcruxes, or his own soul, and then a portion of Voldemort's soul, and then we know there are Horcruxes that are housing souls. And so I have a lot of questions on Dementors, whose special power is to be able to suck souls out of them. This was inspired by, first of all, really it was inspired by Half-Blood University, and one of his memes of Key and Peele looking and being like, dang, I didn't even know they made him like that. And it's a Dementor talking about Harry. But then I also listened to the theory from HP Theory, or Harry Potter Theory, on this. And so basically I have a lot of questions. One, if Harry actually got the Dementor's kiss, do both souls come out in one? Could this be a situation where, he gets Avada Kedavra by Voldemort and it only kills one portion of the soul? Again, mother's blood, clinging him to life. Could the same thing happen here? Could you just suck out the 1/7? Two, could a Dementor suck the soul out of a Horcrux? Could that be used to destroy a Horcrux? If you could open the locket and there's some weird shadow soul coming out, pretending Harry and Ron are making out, or sorry, Harry and Hermione are making out. Can a Dementor just suck that right up? And then the last kind of posing was, how does what do Dementors think about Voldemort, and do they like him 1/7 less than everything else? Do they like, I don't want to suck that soul out. That would be not worth it. I'm not getting the feeding that I really want. And then
he's just the last slice of pizza. He's not a whole pizza.
Exactly. And then HP Theory went on a lot of other things of like, Voldemort could have created his body so that this handmade body basically to like have protection against sucking a soul out. He had no support for that, and I don't really want to go down there, but those are my questions and thoughts on what could Dementors do with all these slivers of souls all over the place.
So I guess the theory to use in this video then is, can Dementors destroy Horcruxes? Like,
yes,
is their
let's go with that.
ability
Thank you, Barry.
able to destroy a Horcrux?
Thank you for bringing this back to something logical. Thank you. Yes.
I think they can. I think
so,
absolutely, because that seems like such super powerful magic to be able to suck out somebody's soul. It is in line with Avada Kedavra. And I imagine a Vada Kedavra could probably destroy a Horcrux. I don't know if that's ever posited or discussed. But I mean, a Vada Kedavra, it's described as literally ripping the soul from the human body. And that's what a Dementor is able to do. And what is a Horcrux? It is an object with the soul inside of it. So by that reasoning, it's like if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C.
Exactly.
I think a Dementor is able to suck out the soul from a Horcrux and thus destroy the Horcrux. Now, it's a little bit different in that in most Horcrux destroying, you have to destroy the vessel in order to destroy it. But this is like a cool workaround. But even with that, I still think it's very cool. So I put that at daggum near canon. I think that's what we kind of end on. What do you think of that?
I think that's exciting. I guess do you think that it could destroy like the cup? Like they didn't open the cup. Like the diary, I think, like Riddle starts coming out of the diary, just sucks it right up, dead. You open the locket.
The Dementor approaches the cup and is like, so where do I suck it from?
Exactly my point. The diadem, like, what am I? Well said. I'm not going to repeat your words, but yes, exactly.
Wait, you put your mouth on the lip of a cup. That's obviously where it goes.
I suppose you're right. Last first of all, I'm very excited that this could go at daggum near canon. My second question is, if Voldemort had a portion of his soul in a Dementor, which technically clings the other portions of his soul to life, is the Dementor now a Horcrux?
Oh, so like it's not necessarily that the Horcrux is destroyed, but that it's now embodied in the Dementor.
Yes.
I think it is destroyed. I think it's destroyed in the Dementor. I don't think they keep it in there. It goes through the digestive system, and then,
yes.
Then they fart it out. And that's what happens to all the souls that Dementor suck. That's the mist that they use to
procreate. Yes.
Oh, so daggum near canon. Look at that. We had 4. All right. So we can declare canon now on 4 different pieces of information. So listeners, if you stuck with us the whole way, here's what you have learned now about the Harry Potter canon. All right. You have learned that it is inarguable. It is fact that 1, Hagrid is super wealthy. He just hasn't liquidated his assets. All right. But he has the means to be rich. You've also learned that Crookshanks was the Potter's cat. And you've learned that Mrs. Norris was a maledictus. All right. She used to be a person, but because she shows up on the map, y'all, all right, that's hard to argue against. But didn't J.K. Rowling make an essay? We didn't like that essay, all right? And
we thought about it more than J.K. did, okay?
That's right. She had a lot of other things to think about, okay? And then the Dementors are able to destroy Horcruxes with their sucking. So those are the 4 pieces of canon we learned today that you would not have just randomly picked up if you just cursory read the story. You had to deep dive it. Luckily, you have us to do that for you. Well, fantastic. I love this list, Scott. You did a wonderful job.
I'm lucky that I have you. I know I had a lot of rambling in there, but you always brought me back to what we're actually trying to do here, which is Harry Potter theories. I had a blast. I don't think I'm disappointed we only had 3 you-know-poos, but I think that's the right amount, I wanted to be honest, and I think we did a great job.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm looking at it. I'm not sure what else were we thinking of throwing the chambers in you-know-poo? What else were we talking?
No, I mean, there was nothing. It was really just before I started. I was like, I think,
you were just
started
so excited
to get into negative
to crap on
headspace.
things.
Yeah, I was like, theories are stupid. Like the text is the text. Like, what are we theorizing? But I very much enjoyed this.
Well, I could not have pictured myself doing this theory tier list with any other Harry Potter fan that I know, because you are so knowledgeable and so critical that I thought he's got to be the one to do it with. So, Scott, thank you so much for doing this. If the listeners want to find you, where can they find you?
Absolutely. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Half-Blood Pod. We're kind of moving away from Ultimate Harry Potter Trivia and just having one account now, and we're using the Half-Blood Pod. Thank you for recognizing. And as Barry said, look for our game on Amazon. It's exciting, and Barry's the best, and I can't wait to become a 3-time recurring guest someday in the near future. Not near
That's
future,
right.
just someday in the future. I'm just putting it out there. I love this.
No, absolutely. You already have free reign to let me know. We'll see him probably on if he wants to come on for book 5. Let me know what chapters you want, and we'll figure it out. All right. Well, thank you for being on. Oh, by the way, did you see our Hufflepuff take the gold in his newest episode of the Triquizard tournament?
No, I need to catch up. That's glorious.
I just spoiled it then.
Represent.
That's right. But anyway, thank you for being on again. Links to all of Scott's stuff will be in the description of this video. Listeners, thank you for listening. Watchers, thank you for watching. And we will see you next week. All right, goodbye, everybody. And click. Thank you for listening to Retold. Artwork for this podcast was created by Rachel Ortlip. Music was created by Taylor Jarvis. And the Retold podcast is produced by me. That's right. I made this.